Hey guys, welcome back. Today I wanted to talk to you guys all about plant therapy, how I came up with that name for my channel, and how I feel plant care corresponds with your mental health and healthcare in a really meaningful way, at least for me. And while I talk about that, I'm gonna repot some plants here so that we can be a little extra productive, because for me, that is a big part of my mental health, is feeling like I'm productive. So let's go ahead and repot some plants and talk about healthcare and mental health a little bit. I'm gonna go ahead and repot. Ooh, there's a lot of water in this saucer. We're gonna repot this guy here. This is my lemon lime Maranta. Love this plant. I'm just gonna make a little space here so I can set him down. My little, what is this, bin of soil mix. I just did a whole video about my soil mix and what I've been using lately. So check that video out if it is out already. I'm not sure which one of these videos is gonna come out first, but if that one's already out, I'll make sure to link it for you. So yeah, let's just go ahead and repot this guy. So first things first, let's just do a little check-in. How are you guys feeling? Especially since we are getting into the darker season. How are you guys feeling? Are you getting enough sunlight? Are you getting outside enough? Are you playing with your plants enough? Are you hanging out with yourself enough? How are you feeling? I hope you guys are all doing well. I feel like kind of as the season changes, I don't know, sometimes it can be extra hard to like regulate my moods and just kind of feel good because it's dark so stinking early. I just checked the sunset tonight is at 4:45. Now, that might be like sounding really nice to some of you somewhere because it might be even earlier. So if it is, I'm sorry. Hopefully you're enjoying it. I don't know, making yourself a big cozy love pit with a bunch of blankets and pillows and popcorn and watching movies or something with the family. That sounds lovely. I feel like as we're getting into this season, it can just feel nasty, you know what I mean? At least for me, it can be really, really difficult. I've always been like really affected by seasonal depression. That's one of the reasons that I was so excited to leave Washington State, because it was so gray and it is so gray and so rainy so much of the time. And you really don't, I don't know, you may not realize how much something like that can affect you until you get out of that kind of environment and you're in an area that gets sun more days than it doesn't. You know what I mean? Which is like the exact opposite of where we came from. We were getting so much rain and so many gray days, like, ugh. And that just like nasty, misty rain. I don't know. Anyway, it was not fun. So yeah, even still living here, I'm in super sunny Fort Collins, Colorado. We have, it's like, I think one of the sunniest towns in the United States. And it still gets, obviously it still gets dark really early, and it can just feel kind of rough. And besides that, I've just personally been feeling in a little bit of a slump, an emotional slump, and just kind of not feeling motivated to like get up and move my body, to get up and check on my plants and do my planty chores that I need to do that I usually really enjoy doing. I've just been dreading all of it and just wanting to take like super long, really, really, really hot showers and just like drink my coffee in there. That's like all I've been wanting to do, which I have been doing, don't get me wrong, but I need to be doing something productive because I know that's going to make me feel good. And I also know that I need to be doing stuff with my plants because my plants make me feel good. So I have been making a massive effort to just take the time, because I've just been rushing myself trying to get all these other house things done and all these other things done and not really giving myself any me time, which sounds crazy because I'm not even working right now. I'm still out of work for like another week and a half, 2 weeks or something like that. So you'd think I'd have all the time in the world to just have me time, but I just wasn't giving myself any. So I've been really trying to make a point to give myself that me time. And for me, that is taking the time to like slowly sip my coffee, smoke some, or nothing, just drink my coffee and have like a nice relaxing walk around in the morning and look at all of my plants and just kind of check in on things, see if I see any pests, see what new growth I'm seeing, take some pretty pictures, and it just feels so good, you know? And then I'm able to like send updates to my boyfriend and stuff and be like, oh, look at this, or like, oh no, what do you think this is? And it's just, it feels really good. It feels so good to give yourself a little bit of time to yourself, and it's so important. And I feel like it's something that we can really forget about, especially, I mean, I don't even have like children or anything like that, so I can't imagine how difficult it would be to, you know, feel like you can allow yourself to do that when you have children. And so if you do, I implore you, take some me time. Like, I know I can't be, you know, having too many opinions over here as someone who is, you know, a dog mom and not a human being mom. It's way different. I totally realize that, but it's even more so important to take that time for yourself and feel like you can be a human. And I just wasn't feeling like a human for a little bit and just feeling like really kind of depressed and nasty. And now that I've been giving myself the time, giving myself like the space to be able to really soak in my plants, soak in my dogs, soak in my man, like just really enjoy our time. And it's felt so much better. Oh my gosh, you guys, I implore you, if you've been feeling in a rut, just slow down a little bit, you know, slow down and give yourself a little bit of time and enjoy yourself a little bit more and kind of like give yourself the space to really look around and like appreciate what you have. Even if you feel like you have nothing, you've got something, you know, and just take that time to like appreciate it. And that's really what I've been doing with these plants and with everything in my life, really, is just kind of trying to slow down and enjoy. And it feels so good. So try and do that for yourself. It's so important and it feels so good. And not only that, my plants really like it. They really appreciate it. Let me show you this before I move on to my next kind of point here about houseplants and healthcare. So this is my Ficus tanicae rubber tree. I feel like I said that super weird and like all together, but those are like two separate names. Ficus tanicae, right? Or a tanicae rubber tree. Right? I'm pretty sure. So this guy I've had growing in my greenhouse that's been having around 75 to like 82% humidity, and it's been staying at around 70 to 75 degrees Fahrenheit in there. So it is like lovely conditions. It feels so good when you put your head in there. And this guy has grown aerial roots. I hope I can show you from here. If not, I definitely will get some clips for you. I already have some, of course, but look at those aerial roots. And like at first I wasn't sure. I was like, I don't know what that is. Maybe that's just like new growth coming out, but no, those are for sure aerial roots. It's just so cool. I've never seen this on a rubber tree ever, like ever. So have you guys seen that? I mean, am I just getting way too excited over here? Either way, I mean, even if it's like totally normal thing, I'm still super excited because I've never had this happen before. But yeah, it's totally an aerial root. Like it's like wiggly. Oh, they're so cute. Look at that chunky root. There's a bunch of chunky roots here. It's looking really good. I think it is time for a repot though, because he was just sitting in here. So he was pretty tight. So we are going to upgrade to this bad boy, which is, now that I look at it, like a really big upgrade. Oh, maybe I should put, I'm almost thinking, oh, I don't want to knock the aerial root off. So I need to repot this, this Philodendron Billietiae. I'm almost thinking maybe I should put him in here because this will give him more space, because I was going to have him in here. But you see how much more space that guy gets if I put him in this white pot. But if I put him in this black pot, he doesn't really get that much more space. So I think I'm going to switch up what I was going to do. Oh my God. Y'all, I'm so silly. I'm such a goober. I did another repot video earlier, like right before this, because I have so many plants to repot, you guys. Like I said, I've been putting it off, and now I'm like finally at that point where I'm like, I'm ready. I'm ready to do some houseplant care, and like, it feels so good. But I was just doing one, and I like thought I misplaced a pot, but really I just like set it on the other side of me and didn't see it. Wow. Okay, anywho, so let's use this pot here. I'm gonna set this off to the side. When I was feeling extra in my slump, which really, it hasn't been that long that I've felt super slumpy. I feel like it's been maybe the past 2 or 3 weeks, which when you're feeling in a slump, 2 or 3 weeks feels like for freaking ever. Am I right? But I've definitely been in longer slumps before, so I'm glad this was a short one. I'm getting better and better at like getting myself out of there. Thank you, therapy. But for real though, if you haven't been to a counselor, you probably should, because you're a human. So I don't know. I feel like it's a good thing. I'm totally for it. But anyway, that's not what this is about. Although that does obviously have to do with healthcare and mental health. If you feel like you need to talk to someone, don't be shy to reach out to talk to someone. That's what professionals are there for. And if it's not the right one, you'll find the right one, but just give it some time. But anyway, so when I was feeling extra in my slump, I was, you know, like I said, not taking care of my plants as I should, just kind of doing like bare minimum plant care, and I could really start to tell in my plants. Like it was, nothing fully died. I don't think I killed anything, but you know, things were just not growing like they should have. Things obviously weren't getting repot like they should have, and not getting like maybe the nutrients and stuff, not watering like I should have. I think I let Anthurium or 2 dry out a little bit too much. They're going to be fine, but you know, I might see some, you know, some effects from it on the leaves or something. We'll see. But yeah, I was definitely seeing my plants take a little bit of a hit when I was also mentally taking a little bit of a hit, and also not really doing much to try and get myself out of it, which that's like, for me, one of the biggest things is like when I'm feeling in a slump, I can't just let myself sit in it, because otherwise I could be there for a long time. You know, I need to try and actively do something to make myself feel better and feel, I don't know, for the lack of a better word, worthy, you know, of feeling good. So for me, in order to help kind of get myself back to feeling at that point where I'm feeling really good and, you know, happy about myself and what I'm doing, what I'm contributing to the world, it's when I'm really starting to take care of my household and taking care of myself and my plants. But that makes me feel really good. So I had just, you know, I had fallen off of like, you know, really having dinners ready and, you know, taking care of myself and giving myself breakfast, feeding myself lunch, like just snacking, you know, and not like really giving myself sustenance, and therefore not having energy to want to do anything, and then feeling just like poo. So it's just a vicious cycle, and I'm finally starting to pull myself out of it, and boy, does it feel good. So yes, I'm like back on like figuring out what we're gonna have for dinners and lunches, and taking care of my plants and making sure that the dogs have their Kongs all made up in the freezer and ready to go, so that when they start whining because they're bored or something, I've got a fresh, delicious Kong ready to go for them. So yeah, it just feels really good. And with that, you know, my plants have been looking so much better. Oh, even just like the past week of like starting to kind of getting back to feeling like myself. Oh, making a mess. My plants have already been starting to look so much better. Like, it's amazing what just a little bit of, you know, TLC will do for your plants and then for yourself. It's amazing. I'm so happy about it. I'm so happy about it. I feel like I've just been feeling more energized, and like, I honestly want to go to the gym so bad. My foot's not really at that point yet, but soon, so soon. But, you know, I'm just feeling really good, and I'm loving being able to walk around and look at all the new growth on my plants. I'm gonna have to do a growth update video for you in the next couple of days or something like that. But it's just been so stinking, oh, that's actually really nice. It's just been so stinking nice to be able to really visually see that, like, okay, now that I'm starting to feel better, everything else around me is starting to feel better. You know, I hope that makes sense. Wow, this is really root bound. I didn't even show you. This is my Philodendron Billietiae, and she's got roots growing all the way up the top of the pot. They're not aerial roots. They're like roots that have like grown down and then I think back up, I'm assuming, because it feels really tight in here. Ooh, I can't talk while I do this. Hold on. Okay, here we go. We're loosening it up here. Oh, okay. That's like not even as bad as I thought it was. Still pretty root bound. Got a good amount of roots in there. And the leaves were getting smaller. So, or the last leaf was a little smaller. So I figured it was time for a repot. Felt like I was having to water him a lot. But yeah, it's just so awesome because when you know, when you're a plant person and you go through that slump, again, you visually see it with not only yourself, but your plants. And then when you start to feel better and you start to pull yourself out of that, you again see it in your plants. So you're not only feeling better emotionally and physically, but you can see an actual difference in your plants usually pretty darn quick. And that's just another thing that helps make you feel good and helps kind of keep that happy train going, you know, which is exactly what we want. I think the last plant that I'm going to repot with you guys today is going to be my Philodendron Silver Sword. And we're going to give him a new plank because he needs a chop because he started getting smaller because I didn't replace the plank soon enough. Again, because I was just not feeling any sort of plant to-dos. I couldn't make myself do it. So now I'm ready to do it. So she shall get a new home. I'm going to give this guy, like I said, I'm going to give her a chop right when the leaves start to get a little bit smaller, and I'll propagate that, and that way the leaves will hopefully start to get larger again. And then I want to get those like cool leaf shapes, you know what I mean? And then we'll have a successful plant on plank / wood pole situation again, because it was going well for a while. Okay, so I've got this. This is our new pole. I'll lean that up against here. Will you stay? Okay. And we've got this larger pot, much larger. What size is this? 12-inch. It's one of those self-watering ones from Target. It's the Room Essentials brand, so it's just the kind of cheapier brand. Works well though. I mean, I wouldn't call it a self-watering pot, but it's a pot. Oh, I'm gonna have to kind of plant this a little bit more shallow, I think, because I don't have that much soil left. But the last thing I wanted to say about, you know, your houseplants and healthcare, or mental health specifically, is when you are feeling in a slump, please don't feel bad about some of your plants tanking. You know what I mean? If you lose some plants, when they get pests, because mine definitely got some pests when I was just not feeling it. I let that get a little crazy. So don't let yourself feel bad about it. You know what I mean? Like, I just wasn't at that point mentally to take care of that kind of stuff. So I didn't force myself. And because honestly, I feel like I just didn't want to face the fact that there were pests or really, you know, anything wrong with any of my plants. I just wasn't at that point to deal with it yet. And now that I am, I'm still not going to make myself feel bad about it. You know what I mean? So that's just, I guess my biggest piece of advice is to kind of just go easy on yourself. You don't have to be on all the time, you know, not out in public with people and not at home with yourself and with your plants. You don't have to be on all the time. Plants don't have to be perfect all the time. They don't have to be thriving all the time. They don't have to be alive all the time. You know what I mean? Like, go easy on yourself. Yeah. go easy on yourself. It's gonna be okay. Like I said, if you lose some plants, there's more of that plant out there. And by now, maybe you can find that plant for cheaper. Who knows? You know what I mean? Like, I feel like plant prices are so crazy lately. So I don't know. If you are just absolutely devastated about losing a plant too, I mean, you can always post in one of your local Facebook groups or something and say, hey, I'm looking for, you know, whatever plant. Who's got one at a good price? See what your prices are looking like. You know what I mean? There's always options. It's not like you're never going to be able to get that plant back if you lost one. So don't take it too hard. Don't be too mad at yourself when you get pests. That goes for any time, but especially if you're feeling, you know, just in a slump and just feeling yucky about yourself. Don't make it harder on yourself by feeling bad about getting pests. You know, you just got to remind yourself that, like, this kind of stuff happens and it's okay. It's totally okay. So yeah, go easy on yourself, and when it's time, it'll be time. And then it'll feel so good. Oh my God, you guys, again, I can't even tell you. I just, it feels so good now, feeling back really into my plants. I was always into my plants. I still enjoyed like looking at them and stuff like that, but I just didn't want to do any extra care for them whatsoever. Like, you could not make me. I didn't want to. But now that I'm feeling much more out of that weird, funky place, I'm really enjoying it now again, which is what it's all supposed to be about. This is supposed to be a fun hobby. So remember that. Like, this is supposed to be for fun. That's why we got plants. At least, I don't know. That's why I got plants. Because I thought they were pretty and I thought it was going to be fun and feel good to grow things, which it does. So if it's not being fun for right now, don't feel like you have to make yourself take care of them, you know? Shoot, you could always see, you know, ask your friends or something, post online. Someone might be able to babysit your plants for a while for you if you're just not mentally up to taking care of them. There's always resources. People want to help, you know, especially people in the plant community. I feel like, I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of good people out there and someone's going to want to help you. So if you need it, don't be shy about asking for it. So, all right, let me finish potting this up really quick. Oh no, what should I do with my Velcro pieces? Crap. My arm is so tired. I feel like my arm should not be this tired. Wow, okay. I'm gonna twist this biatch around a little bit. Wait, will it twist? Not this way. Can we twist this way? Alrighty, woofda. Okay, here is our last plant we're gonna be able to repot. I feel like I had one more plant I needed to do, but I'm not gonna have enough soil, so I barely have enough soil to fill this pot. But there is our philodendron silver sword. I'm gonna chop this, spin it around here. I'm gonna chop this guy right here because they start getting smaller here and propagate it. And then hopefully the aerial roots will start to figure out again kind of where they wanna go and the leaves will start getting bigger. Hey guys, Editing Madison here. So I realized I never actually told you how I came up with the name Plant Therapy. So it's actually really simple. Every time I would be going upstairs or down to the basement or wherever to be like doing a bunch of plant chores, or if it was I was going to be like doing a bunch of watering or something, my boyfriend would just be like, oh, you're going to go do your plant therapy? It's like, yes, that is exactly what I'm doing. It's my therapy time. So yeah, that's it. Super simple. That's how I came up with the name Plant Therapy for my channel, because it kind of is like my own personal therapy time, my kind of decompression, relaxation, kind of time to really think some stuff out time. Kind of like the shower kind of is sometimes, like you just go in there and just like stand there and think about stuff. That's kind of what I do while I water my plants as well, or just like care for them. So yeah, plant therapy. Thank you guys so much for joining me and chatting about houseplants and healthcare and mental health in general. I hope you guys are all doing well out there. Let me know how you're all doing down in the comments below. I'd love to chat with you guys. And yeah, let's just remember, as it gets colder and nastier and yuckier outside, if you are in an area that gets yucky during the winters, it's not forever. The sun will shine again. So just make sure you're taking care of yourselves, and I will see you guys in the next video. This bitch needs water.